Can everybody hear me okay? Thumbs up if you can. Hi. Busby says hello. We just found out that Busby was adopted. So he's going tomorrow. And I'm struggling. But I'm so happy that he found a home, but I'm struggling. Hi guys. All right, I am so excited. Lana Parrilla is joining us today, and I'm probably freaking out more than you guys are because I love her and I haven't seen her in so long. And I just think she's wickedly incredible at just everything. So I'm just gonna go right to it because I know that she's here, and I'm going to go ahead and guest her. Hold on one second. Hold on. We're figuring this out. Happy's on. I love that you're all happy. Hold on. She said she was here, but I don't see her yet. So we're going to wait 1 second. Lana, you just let me know when you're here. I will guest you. It's going to be great. You guys, I've had some problems with the question boxes lately. It's been freezing the live and then I'm not able to save it. So whatever questions you have, just type them in the comment section. That way she and I can both see it. I'm going to check right now. Someone just said, hold up the puppy again. Lucy, hi Lucy. Saying hi, I got adopted. Let's see. 1 second. Lana. She's here. Hi. Okay, brilliant. I'm going live. I'm so happy.
I'm so technically challenged.
No, you're not. You're doing great.
No, so somehow I ended up on like an old live video of yours, I guess from yesterday or something.
Yes, with
and I was like, I'm here. And then it knocked me off, and now I'm seeing you in a totally different outfit. And I was like, wow, she changed really quickly.
So quick. I just had it underneath it. I just did a quick little blazer change.
Look at you, my beauty.
I just cried like 5 seconds ago because I've been fostering. I've started fostering, and I had a really hard time when I gave the first one away. And I thought I was gonna have him for at least a chunk of time, this one, and I got him yesterday, and he already got a home, so he's going tomorrow, and I'm just like,
oh, no.
I just attached so quickly.
How many days do you get to foster each puppy?
It depends. Like I had Rue, the last puppy, for like 3 days, but it felt like my whole life. And I've had him for 24 hours, literally. And I think I thought he was my son. But it's good. He's going to go to a good home, and I'm so happy that you're on here. So thank you.
They do become your little babies.
How's yours doing?
Mine just licked a feather, which is adorable. Come here, Lola. That's come amazing. Say hi to everyone. She's Lola, an old lady.
I haven't seen her in so long.
Come here, Lola. Come over here. Not on that side. Oh, it's okay. She like knocked over the sage ashtray. Come here, Lola. He clearly doesn't have enough toys.
Hi, Lola.
Lola, say hi to Bailee and everyone.
You probably don't remember me, but I love you.
She's like, just scratch my bum. Honestly, just scratch my bum.
Oh,
he's God. 12.
That's crazy.
I know.
It's crazy that, like, I mean, I know I obviously didn't spend a lot of time with her, but like I did know her. Like, so the fact that she's 12, my mom just said hi. My mom's like,
oh, tell her I said hi.
Yes, she's probably listening. Hi, Mama.
Hi, Mom. What am I saying? Tell her I said hi. She's watching.
I'm like, Mom, Lana says hi.
Like I said, I'm technically challenged. Like,
no, you're doing really good. Jen Morrison was on the live a couple days ago.
With you?
Yeah, with me. She did it, which was so sweet. But when I put the question box up, there's like this question box that you can do. She like squealed because she had never seen it. And so we've all been discovering new things. So you're good. It's fine.
We are so from a different generation, and like it's a little bit of a thing for us. We need like a proper tutorial.
No, I mean, I honestly, I even feel like I'm so behind. Like TikTok, what all those kids are doing.
Yeah.
all those, you know, those
I know those kids.
So I just got on it, and it took me a week and a half to even figure out how to get sound on it, like how they did it. I didn't understand it. So I get
Isn't it? Well, you're such a great dancer. I've seen your moves.
Anyone that knows me who's watching is cracking up right now. They're like,
no, I've seen you dance. Well, on
you.
your videos that you posted and stuff.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I view my dancing as interpretive because, you know, anything goes. So I think it's still okay.
That's fair. That's about my style as well.
I know.
And I love it.
I love you. I really do. I miss
so
you
much.
Like, oh, my heart. But I'm so happy that you're doing this because it's, you know, I started it in hopes that maybe even just a few people would enjoy it. I think we're all like in our homes right now, and what's going on is so uncertain and weird, and there's, you know, we've never experienced anything like this. But the last 3 weeks, it's just like the amount of people that either know nurses or are nurses or whose mom's a nurse, and there's just a collection of like beautiful messages that I've gotten, and everybody was dying to have you on. And so I'm just so happy that you're here, and I know that whoever's watching is so thrilled too. So thank you.
Honest to God, I just love you so much, and you know that with all that I am.
I love you.
You asked me if I wanted to do this. I was like, you know, it's interesting because you go through these emotional waves. Yeah. You have like really great days, and then you don't know how you're going to feel the next day. And like the one little thing can just set you off in a different direction. And so I think it took me a couple days to get back to you, but fans were like, where is she? Is Lana okay? Did Lana? Actually, I had a fever. It was a very low grade fever, and a small headache for like, it was Friday, Saturday, all Saturday, and a little bit of Sunday. And I'm fine. I'm fine now, but it was just one of those things where you panic.
Well, you just,
and you're like, oh my God, do I have it? Oh my God, do I have it? And you don't know what to do. And so I'm actually set up. I'm going to get an antibody test because I was so sick in the first 3 weeks of January, really, really sick, where I literally thought I checked every single box. I was like, I think I might have this thing, or had it then. I'm fine now. I've been totally isolating except for, you know, walking Lola, and that's about all I do. So I
haven't seen anybody either. You know, Jordy, you and Jordy go way back. So Jordy and my sister and the kids got it, which I think you realize, I mean, you read the news, it's not a surprise that this is a real thing and that this is happening. But when you know someone personally, like, and you realize, oh, it can physically touch anybody, anywhere, it just for sure is like such a mind game. And so they had it. So I haven't seen them in over a month because we're just being like extra cautious. They're okay. But it's true. You took a second, but I was basically doing lives every day at 3 p.m. Like for the last 3 weeks, it's been a consistent thing. And then Sunday, Easter, and it was the first time I wasn't with my family. And I think it hit me too that so many people are either celebrating it, you know, or Passover with lost, like ones that they've lost due to this, or people that are also in their homes. And I'd given up the foster puppy that day. So I just bawled all day. And I was like, I'm taking the day off. And I thought I'd go back to it the next day. I didn't. I thought I'd go back the next day. I didn't. So this is the second one I've done. And it does. I think there's no right way to react. And so to have this space where people have been like, it's nice to at least admit to that, because I think there's some guilt that comes with feeling sad about it, even if you're not the one going through what's so horrible. So yeah, I'm glad that you're good and just stay home. And it is. So, I mean, I've checked my temperature every day, like 3 times a day, and I haven't been anywhere, but I'm just like consistent.
Well, they say you're supposed to check your temperature every morning and every night.
Oh, great.
That's just a responsible thing to do.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, Trish, I don't know if you've seen any of our sound healings that we've done. I'm literally sitting amongst like all the bowls right now.
I want to see how you do it. Like, I know how, but I want you to teach me. Like, if I get a sound bowl.
I can show you a little bit. I mean,
yes,
it's kind of like, this is, oh my gosh, is this even gonna? All right, my head's probably gonna get cut off. Okay, my head.
You are so cute. Your dress is so cute. You're so great.
I'm back in LA, and I feel like the hippie girl just came back again.
Yeah.
In Vancouver, I could never wear stuff like this because I was always freezing.
And just pouring rain too.
Pouring.
You don't want to know something? So Lana taught me. Lana, you were the only person who taught me this, because our chests were always exposed because of like the corsets and all the outfits.
Yeah.
And I remember like before I used to be kind of covered, but when I went back for the teen episode, it was like, things were like a little bit more low cut, or like it was like a looser fabric. And you were like, hot shots, right on the boobs. And I was like, you are so right. I have carried that with me, Lana, through anything that I've ever done. I'm always like, Lana says hot shots, and I would just like stick them all over.
It literally
laugh whatever set I'm on, but it was so cold always.
It's funny because we would look at these costumes and talk to Eduardo. I would talk to Eduardo, and the queen somehow on this show was all about the boobs. Like,
yeah,
all
got
the
good
evil
ones.
villains had to have these giant boobs.
Yeah.
And I don't have giant boobs at all. So it's like, I'll take them. It's like, yes, the bigger, the more fun. Who knows? But that's kind of how it felt in the moment. But every time we would like go to costume fittings, and I would see these really low cut costumes and these corsets and everything. After a while, I didn't care about what my boobs looked like. I just wanted to be warm. So it was like, can we put a scarf? Can we put like a fur thing? Can I have a cape? Anything to like cover my chest.
Yeah.
But I do miss those costumes, and I found a photo of us. I'm sure you saw it that I posted. I don't know if you saw it. Did you?
I did. It made me so happy. You put the crown on my head.
I have a photo. I have to share it with you, and I'll share it with you after. You jumping in the air.
I took this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember because you and I only had one scene together, that episode.
I remember that scene.
Yeah.
Do you remember that scene?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, too. Oh yeah. I do. You know what's funny? I say that the one show, and I think I've said this to you before, and you used to always like laugh and giggle. I was like, the one show that always gave me like heart palpitations was literally Once Upon a Time. Like, it didn't matter if it was the second time or the third time, like every time I was back on that set, I was just like holding my breath. And that scene in particular, I think I was very confused as to what I wanted to do with it. And you were so sweet. And I was like, I kept turning to you and I was like, am I even like, are they regretting having like me back? Like, is this am I doing this right? And you were always just like right there with me and just so beautiful.
Well, you're always so wonderful. I remember when you came to the set and you played Young Snow in that first episode we did together, and I just looked at you and I thought, God, this girl is so talented. She's so beautiful. She's going to have an amazing career. I love when you work with children. Like, you were a child. How old were you?
That episode, yeah, it must have been like 11. Tops. Yeah.
Gosh. And how old are you now, Bailee?
I'll be 21 this year. So
oh my God, I'm so old.
I mean, I am too. Like, what happened? I don't even know. I would love to go back to my 11-year-old Once Upon a Time days. Like, I was thriving then. I loved that time of my life.
Well, what happens on that show is, it's interesting because coming back to LA and being in this and seeing my friends with their kids and their family, so I'm like, I've really missed out on a lot. And that show, you felt like you were in some weird time warp, like a time capsule almost. I always describe my return as being like Tom Hanks from Castaways and coming back and being like, where's Wilson? Because this is just so not how I remember things.
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, I think you taught me so much, and I was so grateful for that. You taught me so much with just, I mean, I don't think, and I used to always say this all the time, you're so there. And I think people think that that's a usual thing for an actor. Like, I think you just assume, well, yeah, I mean, if it's not your coverage or if it's not, that you still give it. But that is a rarity in what we do. And I remember from the moment that I was with you, it was just, you were just there every second with me. And I swear, even when the camera turned to me, like you gave so much more than you had to even give. But I remember specifically, it was a really short episode that I was in. It was like this quick this quick flashback. It's when the rain is around me and you like go to choke me. And you had the longest, I know.
That was like the dream sequence.
Yeah, it was the dream sequence.
It's like her fantasy.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And I just remember you getting in the car and you had been in, because I saw the call sheet, you were in every single like scene, and I was still given the schedule for the episode. You were just slammed and slammed and slammed, and the amount of grace that you have given that, and like, I mean, you guys worked, like your hours, your stuff, and you especially, I mean, you're going from, you know, Regina, who's like starting to warm up and have this like maternal instinct, back to the evil queen, back to Regina, back to, and you handled it with just such ease, and it inspired me so much on every level. And I've always thought of that, but specifically that night in the van, I remember turning up to my mom and being like, she's something else. You're a force. You just, I truly don't think that show could have been what it was without you. Like, and I mean that, just so good.
Thank you, Bailee. That's so lovely to hear. Thank you so much. I really do miss it. I miss being there. I miss, you know, in the moments that you're there, you're just in it, and it's so crazy, and you get tired because you're totally sleep deprived, and you're like, what is this? Everything's upside down and inside out, and now it's this curse or this spell, and it's like, what is happening? And then, you know, you come out of it, and you're like, did any of that even happen? Was that real? What was that?
Yeah.
And I think that the one thing, if I could look back, I would say, you know, what I would tell everyone, if I can turn back the clock 5 years or 4 years ago, I would say, you know what, let's just remember how blessed we are and how special this is, because it is a rarity. I mean, Once Upon a Time is my 7th series. And I remember when I got there feeling like, wow, it's taken me 15 years to land a hit show. Yeah. You know, and they come so rarely. Yeah. And even now, as I'm sort of, well, now we're not doing anything, but you know, the last couple of pilot seasons, kind of looking at the material going, wow, it's just not, there isn't anything that's grabbing me, and I don't want to just jump into something. I want something that's going to fulfill my heart, and it might not ever fulfill my heart the way once did, or maybe it will be something else, and it'll be different because I'll be different, and it'll be a different thing. But what that was for that period of time was so unique and so special.
I agree.
And clearly the relationships that we've been able to maintain, the growth that I've seen in each individual, as yourself, myself, and the other actors on the show, and the fandom that's come with this, it's unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life.
I completely agree with that too. I mean, I can't even think of a show that had ended that it's as if it's still on every single week with the people that love you guys and watch you all, which is just the most special thing ever. But I remember, and from just a personal standpoint, like Once Upon a Time was the first show that I watched every week, that like I took the time and was like, this is my show. I love watching it back from the first episode. Like I remember when the pilot premiered, and my friend had done an episode, and she was maybe the 2nd or 3rd episode, and I was just hooked on it. And so for me, it was to be a part of like the smallest part of something that was such a big deal in my life, just as a viewer and as someone who loved it, was so exciting. But I agree on the script front. I mean, I wasn't even on the show like you were, but it's still something that I look at and I'm like, that I want something like that. And it is hard, like when you read stuff and you know what something could be and you're ready for that challenge, but it's just not there yet. But you want to fulfill that heart, and that's kind of, I mean, the space that I'm in right now, which is, I think, hard because you and I both love to probably work all the time. But
oh my God. I mean, I've missed working, and I haven't been working for a little while now, and a lot of it's been by choice. You know, just kind of waiting for the next thing, developing a couple of my own projects, and kind of, well, I don't want to attach myself to a series and then I'm not, you know, available to do this other thing that I really want to do. So it's been a game, and it's been, you know, you're taking these risks and you don't know, and you're just crossing your fingers and hoping that like, maybe I'll sell this show, and then I'll be the executive producer, I'll have some creative input, and I'll also, you know, where I'm developing something with 3 female leads, and I don't want to be the main female lead. I want to be like, you know, the third, So I can just also oversee it as an executive producer and kind of, so we've been working diligently on that for the last almost 2 years.
That's amazing.
This July will be 2 years. And just just tweaking it and finding like where can it live and what network. But it's been a lot of fun. I was just thinking about why I loved our episode so much was because it was the first episode I actually got to smile genuinely, and it came from like a warm place. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna rip your heart out and it makes me so happy. It was like, oh my God, I actually love this young girl and want to help her. That was so genuine for my character.
I know. I remember when you saved me from the horse, and I swear there was a moment when you did it, and I think you were so used to not smiling that there was a moment afterwards you were like, was I supposed to do that? And they all turned to you and they were like, Lana, like, you're allowed to like her. You're good. You're like, we're gonna let you have a sliver of you right now. And you were like, great, yeah, okay, let's do it. But I remember you were saying, you're like, I'm so excited to be like loving for a moment, and you were the most loving. It was great.
Oh my God. And I have such an affinity for children. Like I feel so far away from you. Hold on, let me bring you closer. I know we got to the sound bowls and then we put them down. But
I know, I'm still into it though.
I have such an affinity for kids. Like I love children so much, and they love me. And I remember doing that last scene with you where I'm in this wedding gown with this hair that I was just like, why do I have this hair? It was so out of control. The hair was just so not. When I look back at it, I'm like, we really should have come up with a different look. But I remember having that scene in particular was the switch where Regina, it goes from being this like loving, kind person, conscious woman, to developing this like evil, vengeful side that I didn't quite know how to tap into. And I discovered it that day. I mean, I've been working on it and talking to the directors and talking to, the producers and going, I'm really struggling with this. Yeah. And then working with you, it was like, I have to be mean to her. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to scare her. I don't want to scare her. And yet it was like, I have to scare her for the sake of the show and telling the story. And this is such a pivotal moment. It's everything in this moment for my character, becoming the evil queen in that moment. Yeah. And it was just like, oh God, this is going to be hard. I just remember looking at your little face, and you're always just so sweet and loving and positive. And I thought, oh my God, I have to be so cruel and mean to this little girl. It's terrible.
No, I was honestly so excited to see it in action. I was like, for me, I was a fan. I was like, give it to me, Lana. Let's go.
You loved it. I know you loved it. Like, yeah, be meaner.
I loved it. I was like, it's so great. But that, oh my gosh, when you fall back and you clutch your stomach and you just have this moment of, I mean, it is so effortless, but it is so it's so strong that it's still, if that scene pops up on like my tagged photos or something, I'll watch it, and it gives me chills every time. And then I love how we went from that to you choking me with the ring. Like once we were done with that scene, we were like, great,
now it'll be easier to choke her.
Exactly. Should we answer like a few questions that they've been writing? And then let's see, the question box, so there's this question box that pops up, and I've loved it, but it's been messing up Instagram, and then I'm not able to save the live. So I'm just gonna, if you guys can just type it instead of the box, I think that'll be easier.
I'm gonna leave you in charge of this, and
but if you see something, then you can also.
When is tax collector coming out? I just saw that has nothing to do with us.
Great.
But I don't know.
Cool.
Oh gosh, Lenny, that's my cat, who I have not made this announcement, has passed on. No. But it was when I was in Africa with my sister. It was horrible. It was but he was 17 years old. No, but he was 17 years old. He ended up living with a good girlfriend of mine named Jen, and people know who she is because she ended up posting a lot of pictures with him. Yeah. My husband at the time, Fred, was really, really sick he had a horrible allergy to cats. Yeah. And so after 15 years of having Lenny, I had to give him away. It was horrible for me. But I gave him to a really good friend of mine. So I got to see him. I had the keys to the house. I was always there.
Yeah.
So, I took very good care of him. He developed cancer, and he, for those last years of his life, had cancer, but he was still strong and adorable. And then, and then sadly, we had to put him out of his misery. Yeah. Because it was, but he lived a good 17 plus years.
Yeah, but it's still, I remember my childhood dog was Scampy, and we had to put him down. I was too little, so I wasn't there. But I remember it had kind of just been a constant talking, like a prep. So I kind of just thought it was going to happen, and then it would never happen. And so I remember the day that I actually went home and he wasn't there, and I just like wept. And it's one of those things where you still look for them. Like, you still just expect you're going to see them even though you don't know. I'm so sorry. I think that's the hardest. I think that's one of the most horrible things.
Oh, I was in Africa, and I was on FaceTime, and it was like the hardest thing. I was in the office of like this, campsite ground that I was staying at, and it was in the middle of nowhere in Kenya, and it was just like, but it was very emotional. But he had a really great life. I mean, he really did. And Lola and Lenny were brother and sister, and Lola's amazing. I know we should answer some of these questions, but I wanted to ask you about the foster, but we'll get there.
Oh, no, you can go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's because, she's getting older. And so, I don't know how she'll do with puppies.
Right.
I'm a little concerned. I think she's gotten much more gentle. Like, she used to be a little, it's all about me, which is fair because it is anyway. And I've spoiled the heck out of her.
You did.
I've been thinking about maybe getting her a little buddy.
I mean, that would, to foster or to adopt?
To foster for a bit, just to kind of see how it goes.
But I'll connect you. I'll connect you with them. So when he goes tomorrow, oh God, I can't even talk about it. I can't even.
Can you not keep one? Do you not? Are you thinking about it?
Every part of me wants to. And everyone was commenting when I gave Rue away. They were like, why did you give her away? Like, why didn't you adopt her? It's not because I don't want to. Like, I physically want to so bad. I just don't know what my schedule's going to be. There's just so much uncertainty that if I was on a show in LA right now that was filming and we were on hiatus until this ended and then I went, I'd be like, yes, but I want what's best for the animal right now.
Absolutely.
So if it can go to a family and settle and be good, I want that for them. But do I want to steal him so badly? Like, I was honestly considering it. But I'll put you in touch with them because when he goes tomorrow, I'm going to foster again.
Okay.
And maybe we can do the same litter or something and try and I'll put you in. We'll talk.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
It's their work is amazing. Like, what they're doing is so good for these animals. So
you popped into my head the other day when Lola's been it's interesting that Lola has been, I know a lot of these pets are like, what is going on? And she can't sniff other dogs. And it's just been really hard on her. I know, it's been so sad. It's so bad for her.
I so get that.
Okay, so let's see some of these questions. They said, oh, that's Dana. Okay, thank you. What was your casting for Once Upon a Time like? What was your favorite memories? Okay, so what were your favorite memories? What was casting for you like?
Casting for me it was the most magic. I mean, I don't know why, and I've told this story before. I don't even know if you know this. My mom was like, I want you to go home to Florida. I don't want you auditioning. I don't want you working for a little while. I want you to go back, see your family, your friends. Because it was at a time when I was kind of really going from set to set. Once Upon a Time had just premiered and I was watching the show. And so when I went to go say goodbye to my agents, like, cause they live right by me, we went to say like goodbye. And as I was walking out, I looked over my shoulder and I said, I get it, but if Once Upon a Time calls, tell them yes, like as a complete joke. 3 days into like our home vacation, my mom walks out and she's like, Once Upon a Time called, and I was like, that's a joke. Like, I laughed. And in 2 seconds, I started crying. I was so happy. I think my mom teared up because she didn't want to leave home, but she knew we were going to. And in 3 seconds, I was on with like Eddie and Adam talking about it, and I had folders sent to me within 30 minutes of Jenny just to start watching. But it was the most surreal, most exciting thing. What was yours? Was it long for you for something like this?
I actually auditioned.
Yeah.
I want to put you down, so I'll put you back over here. Is it okay that I'm that far? Could you
Yeah,
still
you look lovely.
Okay, great, good. So I feel like I'm totally slanted here.
Here, I'll go.
There we go. No, there we go.
I'll make it even. I'll go back a little. There we go.
Yeah, I'm good. So I actually auditioned. It was during pilot season, and I remember auditioning for a different show for Veronica Rooney, who was the casting director.
Yeah.
And I walked in, and it was like this 2-page monologue for this trauma doctor and a trauma surgeon for some other show. I don't remember the name of it because I don't even know if it got made.
Crazy.
And I walked in and did this monologue, and at the end of it, she goes, you know, you're a really great storyteller. I would love for you to read this other script and audition for the evil queen. And I was like, wow, you know, because trauma surgeons are so like heartfelt and like really there for their patients. I'm like, where did you get the evil queen? But okay. So it was crazy pilot season. I went home, I read the script and absolutely fell in love with it. And the one note they gave me was, don't be theatrical when you play her. She's a real person. Play her as human as you possibly can. I was like, oh, I love that, because that's what acting really is about, right? Because people can go play over the top all the time, but it really want to be grounded in a character as much as possible. And so I thought, okay, well, that'll be fun. Make some real, don't play the Disney sort of idea of it all.
Yeah.
Started doing the work on that. Put this whole sort of outfit together that I thought was like queen-like.
What was it?
It was, I had these black tights, and I had this like a tight black dress over the tights, but I had this crazy woven shawl that it looks evil. I mean, it's just, the shawl itself is super evil. So, and a friend of mine, actually, Tatiana, designs them, and they're beautiful. Oh. And they kind of look like almost like dreadlocks, but like, you know, that I think it's I don't know if it's felt, it's some sort of fabric, but it's like woven together, and then it has like these long pieces that look like dreadlocks. And I was like, this kind of looks evil. So I wrapped myself around it, and I went in there. I read the first scene was in the pilot episode, of course, where Regina, at the very end, opens the door. Henry's ran away, and Emma's bringing him back. Right. And Regina opens the door, and she confronts Emma, and she has like this big speech about, he's my son, don't ever come back here again, and leave town. And then the second scene was the wedding scene, where she comes in and it's her big entrance. I literally got
goosebumps just that. It's just so good.
And I read each scene once, and they were like, they looked at me and they said, okay, thank you. And I was like, do you want to see anything else? Do you want to play? They're like, nope, we're good. I was like, damn, okay. So I left and got a phone call, literally, because I was at the Disney lot. So by the time I walked to my car, I got a call from my agent, and they said they want to test you.
Wow.
They actually want to offer it to you, but it needs to like get approved by everybody.
Yeah.
And they said they've never seen you, even though I've had 6 other shows on the past, and you know, I had a lot of experience in the industry. No one had never played a villain before.
Yeah.
Except for I did a guest star role on a show called Chase, and that was like the only villain part that I actually ever played.
I did Chase.
Did you?
I think I did an episode of Chase.
That's so crazy. Yeah, it was in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so funny. And then the episode before, the episode that I was on, the previous episode, Jen did. And I think she and Amaury Nolasco, they were dating. So he was on that show. So
Wow.
I actually met Jen for the first time then, because she flew in to be with him the weekend that I was there. And Amaury invited me, because I've known Amaury since we were 21 years old. So he and I used to work at this place called the Conga Room. So I've known him forever. He's an old friend of mine. So they were dating at the time. And he said, he goes, my girlfriend's coming into town. Why don't you come? We're going to NASCAR this weekend. I have some friends coming in from Puerto Rico. He's full on Puerto Rican, like proud.
Yeah.
He's like, come and hang out with us for the weekend. And I said, okay, great. So that was the first time I met Jen.
Oh.
And then, flash forward, now we're on the same show, but it was just such a crazy, yeah. And then then I ended up, this is great. So then I ended up, everyone approved me for a straight offer except for the president.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I've never seen her play a villain, and I want to make sure she could do this.
Yeah.
So I was the only person they tested, I guess, put on camera. And, and I was in the room, and they were testing Henry's that day, and Jared was in there.
Wow.
And I looked at him, and there was something, when you just feel like this is my part. I looked at him, and I said, you're going to play my son.
Wow.
And he goes, really? And I said, yeah, you're going to play my son. Like, I knew that I had it. I knew he had it. And there were other kids in that room, too, auditioning or testing for Henry.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, that's how my casting experience was.
That's wild. That's so special. That's got to be like the most exciting thing, but also because it's so close that in that moment going in, you're just like, all right, let's just. When I did Trophy Wife, it was this ABC comedy, and I went in. I had done a general with them after Once Upon a Time, kind of a little bit after, and they said, we have the show, we want you to do it. And it was the same thing. I was approved, but not from the president, because they'd only seen me do like Just Go With It, but which it wasn't like a half-hour sitcom. And I remember that whole thing. I was the only one they tested too, but the pressure and excitement of, there's something so great about I'm the only person they're testing, but then there's also I'm the only person they're testing.
Yeah.
If I didn't get it, I actually did something wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
It can't be a look thing. It can't be anything else. That's so crazy that you saw Jared and you thought that.
I know. It was just one of those intuitions I had, and
you got to
weirdly, wasn't even cast yet, but I just felt it. Felt it.
Yeah.
He loves telling that story. I
bet he does.
Really sweet. We've told it quite a bit at panels and stuff.
That's so sweet.
So, Lola, should we show them how these sound bowls work?
Yes, I want to see it. I watched your live the other day, and it was so therapeutic.
Yeah, so I bought this one when I was up in Vancouver in the 7th season.
Yeah.
And it really is, the reason why I got this one is because it just, that's not the one. This one just, so you get one of these wands, I guess, and it's wrapped in like a very soft leather. And this is a crystal bowl, and there's different ones. These are the Tibetan, I think these are brass.
Cool.
These are my friend Trish's, and these are mine. And this one I bought up there at a music shop on Granville Island.
Yeah, I love Granville.
And it was just one of those, like the 7th season, I felt like I needed something for my heart to kind of just like a sound. I always knew that sound was very healing. I have been a part of sound healing since I was 18 years old. And a good friend of mine, Anastasia, has a bunch of them. She's from Santa Cruz. And I used to go up there quite a bit with her mom and hang out there. And they had a woman who would come and play them. And she has big ones. So I always wanted one. And so I bought this one. And it's just, you basically take this wand.
Yeah.
And you gently you can hit it first. And then you just go around.
That is so cool. Oh, I would do that all day.
Yeah. But I don't know if you can hear it very well.
Yeah. And they all make different sounds?
Yeah, so they're all tuned to different notes. This is B. And this one, I believe, is the crown chakra. So they're
Someone
all
just
tuned.
said, what if she started a band with the Bulls once upon a time for life? Honestly, I would love to be in that band. Please.
It would be like the most mellow band.
You and I are at all the
asleep.
festivals. We're just like, this is our version of Coachella, everybody. Just sit on down.
Everyone's passed out with like their knapsack.
I would go to that. That's wonderful.
You're like, how was he? Like, I don't know. I passed out.
Yeah.
But it was super
I feel
relaxing.
great though.
So this is C, and this is the root chakra. And there's different wands.
He said bowl.
Let's see. So they're just tuned. They're different notes. And this one's your heart. God knows Regina would have loved this one.
Yeah, she needed one of those.
See how loud it gets?
Yeah, that's crazy. So that's one for your heart. That's cool.
Yeah, so when you're lying there, you can actually, the sound, it penetrates and it heals certain sort of like anxieties or stressors in the body,
Right.
any traumas in the body. Sound is really known to just kind of relax your nerves and muscles in the body.
I need that.
I feel like everybody needs that. Everyone keeps going, when are you doing another sound healing? I'm like,
I know. No, you really should do another one because I watched it. I didn't know what you were doing, but I loved every second of it. It was amazing.
I definitely need to do more of them. It's like I said, you wake up in the mornings and you don't know how your day is going to go and how you're going to feel that day. And you kind of just take, every day as it comes. But yesterday I did 13 minutes of it and I sent it to a few people. Okay, I'll send it to you. Yeah. It's my first recording. So just give me 10, I'll get better.
I can't wait. Honestly, if you handed me a sound bowl and told me to do it, I would somehow butcher it on the first go. I'd be like, why is it not making any sound right now?
No, I'll totally help you. And it's just great. And you can buy them off Amazon. I'll send you the link.
Please do.
A lot of people have asked, like, where can I get these? They sell them on Amazon. And mine came, I ordered 3 more a couple weeks ago, and they arrived before one of our healings. And it was perfect timing. So, and I want to order more.
Yeah. No, you should. I just saw the time. I've kept you so long, but are you down to do everyone thing? Can you answer a few more questions?
Yes, let's answer questions. I don't think we've done that.
It's because we also haven't talked in so long.
I know. I thought about that. I was like, I don't know how we're going to answer questions. We're just going to catch up.
All right, we've got this, guys. We're just going to rapid. Oh, wow.
How different is the experience in person than live? Do you feel the vibration?
Perfect.
I mean, it's a sound bowl healing question, if that's okay. It's still a question. In live, it is 10 times better. And in fact, the recording that I have, maybe I'll post it. I don't know how to do that, but
I'll tell you. You can do IGTV. I'll show you.
Okay, but it's just sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on a voice memo. So I have to figure that out. We'll get there. I want to record another one and then I'll post that one. But let's ask some other questions answer some questions.
Do you have any favorite positive quotes? Miss Angels asked that.
Oh my gosh. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I always go with the Bob Marley one, which is so ridiculous, but it actually is really great. It says, he said, don't live that negative way, make way for a positive day.
Oh, wow.
And it's really, I had that poster of him because I was such a hippie girl. I still am. But I had it up on my wall when I was 16 years old, and I always read it, and it's like, yeah, that's really useful.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah, and there's many but that one really stands out to me.
Someone just asked, they said, can Bailee keep a Lana secret now at least? I don't know. I was never good at secrets. Everyone says, do you know how many times I get that from people?
Really?
All the time. They'll be like, can you keep a secret? Like, they'll just randomly walk up and be like, can you keep a secret now? And it takes me a second. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. And I've had like shows of mine that I've done where I'm told a secret. And someone will tweet and be like, you just don't tell Bailee secrets. Like, we know this. Like, it's so funny.
That's a good question.
It's a good question.
Oh, what was your favorite episode to film?
Mine to film? Oh gosh. I'd say the first one for the nostalgia feeling of it, because it was my first time and it was all so new. I can recall so much of that episode and feelings that I had on that set. And I remember the night that we did that scene when I fall and you tell me the secret and we're talking, and I think there was so much going on in Video Village, and I think there was a moment where you were like, everybody just give us a second, and like there was just the hair kept going to my face, but like princesses don't move hair.
Oh, I remember when we were outside.
Yeah, do you remember? And the hair kept coming in, and so the takes kept getting ruined. But I wasn't able to go like this because it was a whole thing that, like, you know, everything's perfect in fairy tale land, and so the hair would just be there. And so I remember just little things about that.
And it was an emotional scene, and you didn't want to have to think about your hair.
Yeah, and that was
you wanted to like stay focused on
Yeah. And so that was a thing. I remember, like, that was the first time obviously I met all of you, and I met Jenny for the first time, and I mean, I grew up watching her. Like, I loved her so much, and it was so brief, but we were testing my contact lenses to see which one was better. So I'd say that. But the last one that I did, the episode with Hercules, was just really exciting for me, because there was a moment when I wasn't going to be able to film it because of the show that I was on, and they were going to have to like cast a teenage Snow, and I just remember I was like, this is like a chunk of my heart, like this is the one thing that I always want to go and do, and so I just remembered feeling so grateful that I was able to have that last moment with all of you, and
us too.
Yeah, thank you.
Us too.
But I loved it. I know, I loved it. I just remember I missed scenes with you in that, so that's why I go back to the first one, because that was really our time together.
It was.
And then that was fun. But what about you? Do you have one that was fun, like the most?
Oh my gosh! Out of 156, hold on. Let me just go through my. There were so many. Our episode together is absolutely one of my favorites, because I got to show her backstory for the first time.
Yeah.
And it really helped people. That's when people felt connected to Regina in a different way. Before, they were like, she's just terrible. My God, we hate her, but we love her, but we hate her. And then that episode, everyone learned why she became this woman, this evil queen. And so it's definitely one of my favorite episodes. Also, I loved riding that horse. I loved riding that horse. And
you're right.
Remember, I'm a pretty good rider, and so
great.
Yeah, and I
didn't get to ride it. I just had to hang off of it for a second.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't let me do the stunt for obvious reasons, because I wouldn't have been able to like do anything. I'm not that skilled.
You also look good in that outfit. That outfit was a great outfit.
Thank you.
That was a good outfit on you. Like,
it was
good. You were that was fun.
That was a fun one. Yeah. That was definitely one of my favorite episodes. Let's see if we can get some other question. Who do you miss the most? Oh my gosh. Well, I feel like a lot of probably Jared. I don't get to see Jared often.
Yeah.
What's your
up too?
Yeah. What's your favorite fan experience that you've had in the last year?
Oh, you can take that one right now. I could tell you. That's so hard.
That's a tough one. I don't even know how to answer that, because
I don't either.
There's so many beautiful fans, and I mean, they are so loving. They're so expressive, and they share how the show has affected them and changed their lives. And so I have a hard time with favorites anyhow.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I don't have a favorite fan. I really love everybody. It's like when your mom goes, I don't have a favorite daughter. I love you both equally. It's kind of how I feel about the fans. I'm like, I love you all equally.
Yeah, I know. And I also think, I say all the time, people ask, they're like, do you just get used to that at some point when someone comes up? And I'm like, you can never get used to something that it's a person acknowledging the fact that your work and something that you believed in was appreciated, and that got them through something. Like, in my opinion, us getting to meet them is the most special thing in the world, because they're who let us do what we do.
Absolutely.
Honestly. And so there's no way to pick because it's all like,
Yes.
and all right, let's do like 3 more. Let's see.
Are you still going to Wales Comic-Con? I don't know. It's being postponed.
Yeah.
What am I drinking? Kombucha.
That looks, I honestly wanted to ask you because it looked really good. I did think that.
This is a really yummy, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm like, because I'm not advertising, but this is called Hum, and it's coconut lime, and it's one of the kombuchas that don't have actually alcohol in it. So I like that.
I was so confused when I found that out.
Yeah, it's non-alcoholic.
I want that.
Yeah, and it's great, and it's gluten-free, and it's one of our favorite ones. I say our because Trish and I, she lives with me, and we share everything.
You're doing what I do about these cookies that I have, and I always am like, it's not an ad, but if I can talk about it, I will. I'll send it to you. They're vegan, non-GMO, gluten-free, the most delicious thing you've ever had. And
wait, what's the brand?
Bakeology.
Okay, I don't know them.
Oh, your world's about to change.
I can't wait because I have like 3 other bags of gluten-free, non-GMO, all that stuff, vegan.
Blows anything I've ever had out of the water.
Okay, good. And those are like 130 calories for one cookie.
No, no. So these are minis, but you can have like a bunch of them.
Okay, good.
But it's also one of those, but they're so good that you'll want a lot. So you should be cautious with it. All right. Let's see.
By the way, you're not. I really don't have anywhere to be. It's not like, hold on 1 second, I have an appointment in 10 minutes. I mean, maybe you do, but I don't.
I literally have nothing to do. You're good.
Yeah, same here.
Let's see. Favorite. Well, I'm not going to ask you, but someone said favorite thing about each other. I'm just going to answer it because I love talking about Lana. And I think a lot of people have to know it. I have said just for the longest time, just to restate what I said earlier, it is such a rarity to meet someone with the heart that you have and the warmth that you have. But someone who I feel like has lived so many different things in their heart, whether they have or haven't, but just the amount of like empathy and the way that you view the world and the way that you see people and the way that you see life as a whole. I just remember being so amazed by that. It's such a, like, I was so little when I was with you, but any time I spent with you, it felt like Lana walked into a room and it was just like this ray of this, like this beautiful force that no one had ever kind of seen before. And you just did, you loved on me, and you still have, and you haven't had to, but you take that time to. And I do feel like you're someone that I could call up at any point in my life, and you will be there. And that I'm even struggling to find that with people my age. So I like the fact that you've taken that time throughout these years. Like I have such respect for you. So everyone should love you for what you do on camera, but also what they can't see is really, really, really special too. So
thank you, Bailee.
Like, mad love over the phone.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me cry. I love you. Thank you so much. That's just so sweet.
Thanks, I do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I do mean it though.
I feel it. I'm like a little shy.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Did you enjoy? This is hard. I don't know how you answer that. I'm gonna maybe rephrase it. So, did you enjoy playing the Evil Queen or Regina more? I feel like they were both so different. So maybe what parts of it did you?
That's actually a really good question. I like, what parts did I love?
Yeah.
They were both so different, and it's almost like, again, it's like, who do you favor more? Out of the 2 children, because even though they're both the same.
Yeah.
And yet they're different. It's just different stages in their lives. I love them both equally. I love the Evil Queen, and I loved her journey, and I loved how she was just deliciously evil, and how I got to do things through her that I would probably be committed for if I did in life. So I'm really grateful that I was able to exercise all my own darkness through her. It was kind of fun. And then to discover other things, I was like, oh, wow, I could be really dangerous if I'm not careful. So I learned some things about myself that maybe I didn't need to learn, but they were there.
No.
And with Regina, I love the mother side of her. I love that her love for her child is and wanting that relationship and being that selfless at, you know, after a period where she thought, oh my God, I'm going to lose my son if I don't change.
Right.
I love that she made the right choice to change her life, to change her ways, to save her relationship with her child.
Right.
And then in turn, she received so many gifts because she did the quote unquote work. You know, it was like the self-enhancement work, which is something that I really connect to, which is why I do stuff like this. And I'm constantly like reading books to further myself and what more can I do? And, you know, okay, I'm going to take ownership for that. This is mine. And that's something that I feel Regina eventually got to, but that's something that I've always possessed. And I love that she was able to have that and go on that journey. And through that journey, she taught so many people, like, you know, to forgive and to take responsibility, and it's okay to be different, and to, you know, just that growth was really admirable.
Yeah.
And so I love them both. I really do. I do. And I do miss, I miss being bad. I miss being evil. I miss, you know, and anytime I got to tell a flashback episode and tell the Evil Queen story rather in a flashback episode, it was just like,
So
oh,
fun.
good, I get to do this, and this is fun,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that's why I think a lot of people, why season 6, was it 6? Or yes, why season 6 and the end of 5 ended up the way it did is because Regina had grown so much. It was like, oh my God, we missed the Evil Queen. I think everyone missed her, and that's why they brought her back the way they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I missed her. I just did. It was just fun to watch.
Yeah. It was really clever how they chose to bring her back too. Really clever.
I gotta say, their minds are.
I know. I don't know where they. I feel like we're in the middle of a curse right now. Actually, it kind of feels like a once upon
Honestly,
a time
I bet
spell.
they're at home right now. Like, I've got some. Like, I saw Adam. I think I saw Adam at no, I saw Eddie.
Well, no, they both have
dinner.
glasses.
Yeah, I saw Eddie the other day, like a couple weeks ago, and I was so excited to see him. And it like took him a second, I think, to see, you know, that I was also with my boyfriend out to dinner, so I think that threw him off because everyone saw me so little. And I was like, I just have to, and he's like, Bailee, like, oh my gosh. I was like, it's so good to see you. But I always said that as a fan, it always amazed me. You could go back to the pilot episode and then go to the very last episode, and it still made sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's still connected. You're living in like these crazy big, like, possibility never would happen in real life circumstances, yet it all makes sense, and it literally can make sense as the episodes progress. And the fact, I mean, I just think they're geniuses. I just think,
those minds, I don't know where
gosh.
they were blessed by some higher power that just like gave them this gift.
I could not agree more.
I know. Oh, let's see. Do we have any more?
You go. Someone had just asked what your favorite season was, so I figured that was a good last question. If you have
Okay, my favorite season was probably season 1.
Someone said the live will be cut off in 2 weeks. Is there an end to it?
No. Oh yeah, I think it's only 1 hour.
Wait, is that? Oh shoot. Oh, then I want to be able to save it. So
okay. So let's end.
Yes,
the first season, and that's it. And I love you.
Okay, amazing. Okay, I love you. Thank you so much for doing this.
I'm gonna text you.
You're the best. Text me right now. I'm gonna save it. I'm so glad someone just said that. Okay, love you.
Okay.
That way
I love you. Thank you for this time.
No, thank you. That was the 1 hour max. They're all ready. Okay, bye. We love you.
I love you. Bye. Bye.